Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Netomi's Support Superheroes. My name is Ozdoruk, and today I'll be your host. We started this Support Superheroes as an experiment last year during the peak of pandemic, when we noticed there are lots of customer service leaders who were going above and beyond during these tough times. We wanted to invite them to this platform so they can share their experiences with you. And last couple of months, we have seen an increase in demand from you guys. So now we decided to make these series monthly. Every month, we are going to a different industry and pick a superhero from that industry and going to connect with you all. But that is so much fun happening in the future, but let's talk about today. Because today, we have an amazing speaker with a very well-known brand. Alexandra da Silva Rodrigues is Strategic Advisor for Global Contact Centers at Radisson Hotel Group, one of the world's largest hotel chains. The group has more than 1,500 hotels worldwide, and it's present in more than 120 countries. And some fun facts. Did you know that Radisson was founded in 1909, which is 113 years ago, the same time when Henry Ford was building the first Model T, long time ago. Also, it was just a couple of years before the folks invented and patented the hairdryer. It's interesting because if you think about that, if you have a time machine and have a chance to go back all the way to early 20th century to check in the first ever Radisson hotel, you would be missing not only modern amenities like cable TV or Wi-Fi, but also you'll be missing hairdryer. But no matter what, you'll be always having their nice, welcoming, unique hospitality that time. And that unique hospitality has never changed last century. It is because thanks to their top-notch customer service team members, and Alexandra is one of them. Prior to her current role at Radisson, Alexandra worked in other industries and across different brands like Telefonica, General Motors, Citibank, over a career of 25 years in customer service. So it's my pleasure to welcome Alexandra to this month's Support Superhero series. Alexandra, welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you and all this audience. And I'm a fan of contact center since a long time. I think the ones that work on this area really need to push this to professionalize our area, to bring this area from a cost to a benefit center, and to really show everyone how important are the contact centers for our companies. So I'm so amazing. It's always a pleasure when I speak about contact center and contact center agents.
Awesome, Alexandra. I'm so excited as well. I and my team, we put some questions to ask you, but I want to make a reminder for our listeners today. If you have any questions to ask Alexandra for experience in contact centers in Radisson, please ask us questions. You can go to Q&A session at the bottom right of your Zoom window and then type in your questions. We'll go over that as we move on to the journey. So let's start with some of the basics, because we always want to learn about who we are talking to first before we dive into your Radisson career. So, and I know that you have a very non-traditional and amazing background, Alexandra. I know you were born in Portugal, you studied law, you worked as a lawyer, and then you now work in a major global contact center of a major hotel chain. For our audience, can you please share us your journey from a law degree to all the way to customer care?
Yeah, it's a kind of an interesting story. So yes, I studied law in Portugal. I'm Portuguese. Then in 1996, I moved to Spain. And while I was waiting for my, I don't know if I say that in English, the validation or to confirm that I was able to work as a lawyer in Madrid, I was asked by Citibank to support them on contact center. And it was May 1997. I said, I don't know what is that. Are you sure you want me there? So I started there. I fell in love, and when I received the okay from the government of Spain, the education ministry, that I could work as a lawyer, I decided to not work as a lawyer because I was so in love with what I was learning about contact centers in 1997. Probably you are going to ask what you, based in your background as a lawyer, how did you finalize managing contact centers, small, medium, large, in different industries? You know what? I always say, thanks to the studies I have done, the way of thinking, the problem solving, the way we are arguing, the way out we understand our clients, guests, customers, whatever, it's exactly the same as a lawyer. We do receive clients, they have problems or they have questions, they have information queries. So it is exactly the same. And we as a good lawyer and a good contact center responsible need to put always on the shoes of the guest to understand, to help them, to be a problem solving person. So I think I was lucky that I had this background on law. It's good because I could apply to understand and try to defend. So for instance, in Radisson, my job role or name is advisor. I'm there to support my guests and my clients, to help them, not only to make bookings, to answer any query about the property, but as well to help them with queries or complaints. So I think I'm a lawyer of our guests at Radisson. So I'm following my career.
Awesome. Awesome. That's perfect. And I think you said at one point, you said you were lucky, but I think Radisson is very lucky to have you as well. So much of experience now, we are helping them. So Radisson might be very lucky to have you. So as I mentioned earlier, you have experience in other industries as well. You spent your last decade in hospitality, but you also have experience in many other industries, including banking and telecommunications. So my question is that in the context of customer service, what is unique in hospitality industry?
Yeah, so I worked in telecom, healthy industry, insurance, bank, automation, and since 2009 I'm working in the hospitality. And I also worked for a BPO some time ago. And I opened, so when we start about speaking about offshore, nearshore, and so on. So I was the operations director for a big one. Hospitality, when I receive new agents, you know what? Hospitality, we are selling emotions, we are selling feelings. Normally, when we want to book a room, it can be because we want to have a leisure moment with my partner, my family, my kids, or either I have a congress, so I go to do business, but I also I try to find a balance between leisure and business. So what we normally call pleasure, right? So hospitality is a different story than when we do outbound calls or we receive complaints about the line is not okay, or to sell insurance. So I don't agree with the bill that you send from a telecom provider. I always say, guys, we are so lucky to work in this sector because we are touching emotions, we are touching leisure, is all around having pleasure. So it's so easy to sell, it's so easy to understand. So the ones that are managing this type of industry are lucky than probably the ones that are trying to sell insurance or trying to sell a telecom line. So I think we are also lucky to be on this sector. And normally I do say that it's a pleasure to work because it's a kind of a glamorous one, is to sell different properties in different cities, offering a lot of add value, not only a room, not only a restaurant, is all the environment that is around an hotel, right? So normally the ones that are contacting us, they are desiring to stay in our properties. So it's up to us really to help them to be there and or to sort when they have issues, because life is not perfect, even though we would love to.
Yeah, 100%. And I know that it is very difficult to satisfy the leisure customers. As some other industries, it might be easy, but people have higher expectations when they want to check in a very nice hotel like Radisson. So I could imagine the challenges you might be having. So you guys are doing an awesome job.
But you know, it's always try to understand. You are going to listen during this this time. I will speak with you guys. Is to put on the shoes of the ones that are calling us or the ones that are emailing us. The first thing that we need to understand is, what do you want? What are you looking for? Because it's normal in a big company as Radisson, we have different brands with different values. It's just a matter to understand, what are your requirements? What are you looking for? What is your budget? And to offer the right offer according to the expectations of the guests, right? So it should not be difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely easy for you from your perspective, but from lots of junior people in the calls, I believe they find it very, very tough. But then you guys have the formula, so you guys make it as experts, right? You have been doing that for quite some time. But I would say that it is not an easy job, but you are doing. So let's maybe switch the topic about the Radisson support organization rather than yourself. So if it is possible, can you walk us through the support setup, the team size, the channel that you use, the leveraging of BPOs at Radisson?
Yeah, I think at this moment we need to speak, because with this unexpected moment that we all lived 2 years ago, it's already 2 years ago. I remember at this time I was in Las Vegas, and we have heard something about COVID in Asia. And I was in January in Manila, and I said, okay, this is something that is punctual, well located in a particular place. Okay, let's now speak about before COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID.
Yep, perfect.
Of course, as you can imagine, our sector is one that has suffered the most, together with I would say, the tourism sector, the travel and hospitality sector. We have suffered a lot, as you can imagine. Today, the team is recovering, and the number of agents, we do have 5 locations all over the world. We are not still at the same levels of 2019, or I could say January 2020, because still January 2020 for us was one of the best months at that time. Right now, we are almost around 200 agents all over the world, 200 FTEs. We are serving 13 languages. We have locations, as I told you, in Europe, APAC. APAC, we have 3 locations, and we are not at the levels that we were previous COVID, but what we are seeing is an increase on add value requests. When I mention about add value requests, meaning people that are willing to make bookings. While during COVID, as you can imagine, everything was cancelled. We had closed a lot of hotels, and we were almost obliged to reduce the team because we have no business. We had a lot of queries regarding cancellation requests, but at this time we are happy because we are seeing a positive trend, either on volumes and on bookings as well, and they reduce at the same time and in parallel on customer care queries or complaints queries, let's say like that. So if this is regarding the size, regarding the channels, we are still very traditional, but probably this is because I'm leading that. Normally, based on my experience when I was younger, with the CRM on the 19th, it was, let's test, let's implement all these marvelous systems that all the consultants came and sold to us. And I believe the ones that have my age, that's experienced the CRM on the 19th and 2000s, we had failures. So I will speak about digital. At this stage, the main channels that we are using are phone and email. We are already doing, we do have some automation in place, and the plan is to increase the automation and using the bots. I'm also learning how to manage bots similar to my agents, which is a kind of fun. And by the way, if you ask about BPOs, in my career since 1997, I experienced different models. I had in-house, a mixed model, and fully outsourced. And Radisson is following this trend. We had in-house contact centers. We had a mixed model. Today we have a 100% outsourced model. And it's because we were lucky to find a valuable partner. Normally, when I select a BPO, is more than a vendor, it's a partner. We need to find someone that understands, first of all, the business. Secondly, that is looking for a win-to-win situation. So as a partner, is not to pay an invoice based whatever model we agree, is if I win, you win. If I don't win, I'm so sorry, you are with me on the same trade. I don't know if I covered what you were asking for.
We covered lots of things. Actually, I'm very impressed that you have only 200 agents, if I understand correctly, for a hotel chain of 1,500 hotels. So it's that might be a very well-performing team, right? If I understand correctly, you said 200. It's a very well-performing team. And by the way, I think you said about something.
I need to tell you something. You well mentioned, I'm from Portugal. I lived in Spain. So Portugal and Spain is kind of my two lovely countries. We are Latin. We are used to do the best with not a lot of money. So we are very productive, efficient people.
There you go. I think you are creating, you are indeed a superhero. That's what I wanted to highlight. And I think, thank you very much for highlighting that. Also, you also made a comment about age. I don't know what you are talking about. You and I are both like young. I don't think we are like early in our careers. You and I are like very young. Anyways, so you also mentioned that at one point you said you are thinking about digitalization. And I have actually, you said you are looking at automation. Actually, I have a poll for our audience on the same topic. So I'm going to launch this poll. If everybody can take a moment and answer that poll, that will be great. The question is that my company is using automation for the top customer queries. The answers are yes, no, or we are exploring the AI. I think Radisson fit in the third bucket. So if everybody can go to their Zoom window and then select one of the three questions. Oh, we are getting so many answers. Oh my God, that's very interesting. We are getting, let's give like 10 more seconds because people are still chiming in. I will share the results with you guys in 5 seconds. Okay, going once, twice. Okay, people are still answering. Let me give 5 more seconds. Okay, so we have a very interesting breakdown. Let me end the poll, guys. So we have other polls, don't worry. So let me end the poll here and then let me share results. So basically, the question was asked, and then how many of you guys are using automation for top customer queries? 2/3 of you guys are actually using automation. That's actually evolving compared to our previous webinars we have been doing. And I think 17% said no, and then 8% said you guys are still exploring. So it is, I think, a very interesting breakdown. So let's go back to our topic with Alexandra. Let me stop sharing. So Alexandra, you mentioned that email and phone are the top channels that you have been using. You also mentioned that, I think, if I understand correctly, you said the top queries are about cancellations, right? What are the other queries that you are receiving other than cancellations? Cancellations, of course, we see that on our airlines, hospitals all the time, especially COVID. But what are the other queries you are getting other than cancellations?
Okay, so first of all, let me share with you, as I told you some minutes ago, we are still very traditional, but I'm so happy because we just started the digital path. So if I was able to answer your questionnaire, we are in the process. So we already launched some artificial intelligence, and I have some bots, which I'm so happy to work within my team. And I need to tell you that was COVID that accelerated digital path.
Yeah.
The digitalization is something that we need to follow because it's something that the market is demanding. The guests or our clients, they do want to contact us whenever they want, wherever they want. First of all, they don't want to wait a long time on queues. and they really want quick questions and straight to the point. So we really need to be on digital. This is the first thing. Secondly, can you remind your question? So
I was saying, I think, thank you very much for the comments. The question is that other than the cancellation queries, queries you receive?
So let's clarify. Within my contact center, we have different line of business, okay? We have what we call reservations, and that I normally call the revenue powerhouse. This is the revenue generating activities. It can be queries about prices, availability that can be transformed into a sale. And then we have targets because we are a sales channel within the company. But at the same time, we also manage information that will not be transformed into a sale, like, I don't know, information about cancellation policies. And you can imagine during COVID, it was huge amount of those questions. At the same time, at this time, safety measures, right? It's really important. Amenities that are open. Is the spa open? Is not open? And if there is an issue in that particular city, what's going on? So there is a lot of information queries. So that inside of what I called my revenue powerhouse. Then in parallel, we do have what I call the customer engagement center, which is including the loyalty queries, because we do have our loyalty program. So for those that are not part of the loyalty Radisson program, please go to web and be part of it, because we'll have a lot of benefits and you will be very well treated. A part of that, we also manage the complaints. There are complaints, that is life, because while you contact the contact center or while you were at the hotel, things were not so good. Okay, we are here to support and to help you. And we also support the reputation management. So guests that are making comments on social network, and we'll try to understand. So today, if you ask me on revenue powerhouse line of business, the majority is information queries about safety, amenities, and of course, cancellation, and I want to make a booking, which I'm so happy. Secondly, if we go to the other part of the loyalty program, is to understand the concept as well, missing points, how I can do status match. I'm a competition a member and I want to change to you. So let's say these are the majority.
Awesome.
And of course, within all these queries, what do we do? I don't know if I'm advancing your questions, but let me try to understand. Me, as the responsible of the contact center, and where my main and primary focus is customer experience, guest experience, right? Guest satisfaction. And we follow that within surveys and with auditings and mystery calls and so on. But I do have also a P&L. As I told you, I'm also a sales channel, which means that I have a cost and I need to find a benefit and I need to have a cost per acquisition and I try at least to find break even. So when did I think about automation? I was not like crazy. Again, I think this here helped. I said, okay, let's go step by step from all the processes, all inside of each line of activities that we are managing, which are the processes that do not bring a lot of add value, that are easy to automatize. Let's start by the easiest things. Emails. We do receive a lot of tour operators' emails. There's a lot of travel agencies that want to do a lot of bookings for their clients. And normally they use normal templates with clear fields. So we can have a bot that is reading the fields, and I don't need a human agent, right? It's just reading the fields, whatever is requesting, modification, cancellation, or new booking, the bot can do that. Go to our transactional system and do that on behalf of a human. Where do I need a human? is where we need to apply emotional intelligence. Is when I said to you in the beginning, I'm going to use this sentence to put on the shoes of the guest. It's really to understand what the guest is looking for. And I still today, I don't think the bot can do that as a human that is well trained, that has the skills. So at this moment, the automation that we have put in place in our contact centers is mainly on non-add value processes. So far, it's very good. The bot is able to manage, I would say, around 80% of the cases. The remaining cases is because the training, the bot also needs to be trained. Probably we didn't spend a lot of time to train. Again, we are still young on this. But so we go step by step. And if you guys are asking me, what is my recommendation?
Yes.
Since 1997, that I'm working within contact centers, and I live this change from call center to contact center to omni-channel or whatever name you want to put, is really go test. I always say to the partners that work with me, I will accept you to work with me if you show me you can make it. And it is not with a PowerPoint. I apologize. Coming with PowerPoints for me doesn't mean nothing. Show me, not only by reference, that you are able to make it. And normally I work like a kind of a laboratory, and I apologize. I work kind of a laboratory. So the partners that are willing to work with us, they do tests. If the test results is so easy to go to my boss and to our steering committees and see, I made this test with this amount of volumes or calls or emails with this, and this is the return. And then it's so easy to get an approval, don't you think? So this is the way I'm managing today in Radisson, and I used to do in other companies as well.
Awesome. So actually, on the digitalization, actually we have some questions, but one of them is actually very relevant. Apparently, we have an audience member from his or she's director of customer service at Nike. They are asking Alexandra, what? And then they say our CEO recently spoke about embracing digital transformation with end-to-end customer service thinking. So they are asking, what is your advice on getting leadership on board with digital transformation? Where would you start?
Show them.
Show them.
Sometimes show the way I do things. The way I do things, and so far it results. You select 2 processes. My case, I started digital. I start automation with 4 processes. I select 4 emails, 4 type of emails of the huge amount of emails I have. And I said, okay, I think these are the easiest ones. So how many emails I do have? What is the average handling time I spend with it? What is the expectation of the bot to bring value? Because if the bot does not bring value, it's a problem. And the bot can bring value for me in 2 ways. From one hand, to replace a human, and I can stay with that human to answer quicker or to be dedicated to add value. This is one thing. And another thing is that if the bot can make it, then I probably don't need the human. So there are savings. So it's just a matter of due calculations, numbers, because our bosses love numbers, P&Ls, right?
Yes, of course.
But don't do a lot of, how can I say that? Figures, scenarios. Ask your partners, your partners in crime, the way I call mines, to do, let's do a pilot. Let's do a pilot. Select a little bit during a certain period of time. I know there will be investment, but if they think it will work, it will show positive, and then from a little piece of our business, we can expand to a certain percentage. This is the way I have shown my leadership, and so far it worked. I never went to my leadership. I never in my life, because I just received a consultancy firm, a fancy PowerPoint with fancy numbers that I don't trust, that I didn't touch and I didn't see, but it is me. Then you need to see what's the culture, who is going to approve and then it's also a matter to involve as well other areas, because we are not niche. Contact center is a transversal area, right? We are serving the guests, we are serving the clients, because we are applying different policies of different areas, marketing, sales, at the same time, revenue management, pricing, as well, IT. We are using IT systems. So normally what I do, when I do have an idea of a new project, there is a work stream with different areas. So it's never myself alone that I'm going to do things. Yes, I manage my team the way I think I should. But again, contact center is touching different areas. So which means I need to have all my allies. Everyone needs to be with us. So alone, we are one. Together, we are stronger. Right?
Yeah, of course. You have a great advice. Thank you very much, Alexandra. So let me change topic. I have a question about empathy. At Netomi Research, we publish lots of reports on different industries. A couple of months ago, we published a report on travel and hospitality. And in 2 weeks, we are writing a specific report about airlines. So I cannot share the results of airline, but one thing that from the previous report that was interesting was we have a little interesting take on the empathy. So we discovered that only 11% of the companies in this space show empathy in email responses, and 26% of them show only 26% of them don't show any empathy on social media. So both email and social media, there's a lack of empathy. So can you tell us how you bring like personal touch, especially post-pandemic? I know you are a human touch kind of a person, like you are human touch first, but can you talk about like how we can fix that empathy problem? Again, this is based on our research. Probably it's a different at Radisson, but can you share your insight how we can get more empathetic responses from the call center agents?
I fully agree what you're saying. This is one of my battles. I don't know if it's correct word in English. You know, when we are working with different contact centers in different locations, with different mentalities and different behaviors, let's be honest. I'm European, I'm South European, I'm very Latin, very emotional. And when we are dealing with contact centers that are located in different parts of the world, where the behavior or the way they are used to follow procedures just for following, then we arrive to that results of your survey. It is in the hands of the managers, leaders of the contact centers it's always about training. It's about communication. It's about selecting the right profiles. It's about how I explain to my company. It's not only about cost. It can't be only about cost, because then don't come to us and ask benefit. Because if we look for profiles and skills that let's say, okay, and follow A to Z without thinking, then probably, yes, there is no empathy. What we do at Radisson, and we face such situations. I will be lying that everything is perfect. It is not. So what do we do to mitigate all these things? First of all, a lot of communication with all teams. Not only operations managers, not only team leaders, but within the agents. We have a lot of chats with them, videos like these ones with them. And all the training content is not only about a template, is not only about a flow from A to Z, is about to understanding what we are answering or saying to a guest. And I'm going to repeat, and probably you can summarize that, put on the shoes of the guest. So if I'm calling to my contact center or writing to my contact center, all agents are instructed to think if they were the guest. I'm always saying, we have one of our SLAs is to answer an email within 24 hours. Just to send an email saying, thanks, I received your email. I'm going to forward that to my whoever department doesn't answer nothing. This is kind of forbidden with us. So it's training, communication, and of course having tools, that is important, and of course skills. We want super agents, right? When we mention BPOs, of course, we look for some efficiencies and some cost savings. Let's be realistic. But if we only put the focus on that, you will fail. And I believe you will ask me what is the trend for future on BPOs. The BPOs, more than ever, they need to understand our business. They need to be part of our business, and they need to be our partners. If we go to look, because it's less expensive to have a BPO than to have our in-house contact center, this will, I can tell you, short, medium term, it will be a disaster.
Yeah, perfect. So actually, we talk about change, right? Like we have seen some multiple signals. I think 2 weeks ago, New Zealand opened the borders after 2 years. Australia followed, and last week, California changed the indoor mask mandates, and yesterday New York followed California, and so there is no indoor mask mandate.
Madrid in Spain, no mask anymore since today, which is great. I think the majority world will become normal somehow.
So I'm so looking forward to be like that normal. I think you all look, it was like too long years. So, but my point is that we are almost over with pandemic. We have seen all around the countries they are changing the rules. So, and we have some very young folks also in this session. So, thinking about post-pandemic changes, what advice would you give to these folks who is planning to move towards digital support operations post-pandemic?
This is the must. There is a music that the video didn't kill the radio, something like that. I don't remember the group. But the digital will not kill the agents, human agents, but digital is necessary. So if we really want to have a group of super sales agents, and when I mean super sales, not the best, but well paid, well recognized, where they will not be ashamed to say, I'm working at the contact center. I'm proud to work at the contact center. It's we will need the digital to help us to sort out easy things, because by the way, the guests are looking for that, and by the way, it's cheaper. You will see when you'll do your business case. But I don't foresee that the bots will kill our human. What bots will do, they will help our human agents to really be transformed on a sales team, on a customer care super agents team, let's call like that, people that will remain within us. We will not face the issues of turnover, people that after school will come, stay 1 month or 1 year and they go. Then all the trainings, let's recruit, let's train and so on. So digital is there. We need to be prepared. We need to be thankful to the technology. By the way, don't think technology is enemy. Technology is here to help us to optimize process. But again, trust me, human will remain. It is up to us to transform this human into superhuman.
Yeah.
Superhuman and well paid and well recognized.
Yeah, 100%. I like you say superhumans, super agents, because you're a superhero. That makes perfect sense. And another example actually is Netomi, when you say bot is going to be working alongside humans, that they are not going to take humans' job. So there's sometimes misconceptions about companies like Netomi, but yes, indeed, we sometimes, for very simple questions, we resolve thanks to our patented NLU, but for complex cases, we don't automatically solve. What we do is that we draft the answer and we share with the human agent. And the human agent has a chance to look at the answer, approve or send, or edit and send, or reject altogether. And then every time agent adds additional information, thanks to our reinforcement learning, our AI learns better. And it's a collaboration of human and I think automation working together that makes companies so successful. So let me switch to one more topic. So we talk about digitalization and automation. What are some emerging trends that customer service leaders should know, especially in hospitality space?
Guests do not want to wait too long for an answer. Guests want to be recognized. Guests want to have personalization. They want to be, whenever they contact us, to be recognized that we know almost everything about she. So I would say personalization is something that should be one of our top priorities. Sustainability is something that we are detecting that people are being kind of worried about. And then is to find technology to really, it's to match, I would say, personalization, sustainability, and be quick and effective.
Awesome.
Guys, again, if you are calling your whoever, your provider, I don't care, utilities, telecom, bank, do you want to wait a lot? Do you want to speak with someone that is transferred to another one, repeat everything? No, right? So this is what they don't want. They want a wow effect. They want when they call you to say, hello, hi, Alexandra, how are you? I know you have been in our Radisson Blue Madrid. I know you have enjoyed, your stay was lovely. Are you coming with your family? It's a wow effect that we know that we can offer add value. And this is the way I'm forcing my strategy.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you. We have one more poll. I want to remind our audience, if everybody can take a look at their screen, we have one more poll based on the topic we just discussed. The question is that the future is a close collaboration between human agents and AI. So the answers are yes, no, and not sure. Interestingly, people selected one option, and then let's give like 5 more seconds. And after that, we'll go to like very quick rapid fire because we are running out of our time. We'll go some 3 questions I will ask you after this one. And then, okay, let's actually end the poll. We haven't had 100% for a while, but there is a consensus that people, let me share it, sorry. There's a consensus that people, there is a collaboration between AI and future, exactly what you said and what we said as well. So now, Alexandra, this is the last portion of our series. I will ask you some rapid fire question. I look for like one word or one sentence answer, and then we will go to closing remarks. So my first rapid fire question is that, what is your favorite customer service book?
You know what? I don't have a favorite customer service book. My favorite book, and I'm so sorry I'm going to speak about, is history. Doesn't matter, Portuguese, Spanish, whatever. Is the resilience, how we build traditions, how this generation grew up. So this is where I spend my time to read when I have time. So I don't dedicate a lot to go through and read CSA books, because I need to be honest, I'm surrounded of great people that are teaching me every day.
Awesome, perfect, that's awesome. So let me ask one more question. What's the crucial or must-have skill for a customer service leader, if you have to pick one skill?
Understand the others.
Empathy.
Problem solving.
Perfect, that's exactly what we were looking for. So, and this is, we ask it to all of our superheroes, and everybody had a different answer, that's totally fine. In your opinion, what is the most important metric to track in customer service or call centers?
Quality. Even though I need to follow on quantitative metrics, because it is life, I'm following all SLAs that you can imagine: abandon, productivity, transaction per hour, occupancy. Quality. Customer surveys. I love customer surveys, and I'm so happy January, we just received, and I've shared yesterday within the steering committee of Radisson, our customer survey results of January is 4.7/5.
Awesome. So we are getting lots of questions. We will have a couple of minutes to go over the questions, but before that, I want to remind folks for our upcoming series. Let me share my screen. I hope everybody can see my screen. So as I mentioned, we have these series now monthly, and next month we are having Rogers, Tanya Hawk, and UiPath's Laura Lakshmara is joining us, hosted by our own Rupal Nishar. And we are doing that Women's CX Leaders because it's in a very timely time. It is on Tuesday, March 8th, which is the International Women's Day. So this is the next series. And I want to invite all of our audience to join this event as well. And just, I would like to ask one small question, Paul. In case you want to register, you can just answer here, so we will get you right away. You can say, count me in and not right now, and then we will share the results right away. And I will wait like 50 more seconds. Okay, there are so many people interested. That's awesome. I see 7, 8 people already, and then more attending. So we now, Alexandra, we have some questions coming from the audience. Let me end the poll. One question I'm seeing is that, oh my God, that's a long question. So, hi, Alexandra. Peloton recently had a mass layoff event you probably heard about in the news this week. Luckily, my job was affected. We still have a great product, and I'm hopeful for things to come. What are 1 or 2 things I can take today or to boost morale within the customer service department for agents and managers?
I'm going to tell what I'm telling to my team, and I need to tell that my turnover is very low. They are they all know about everything. They know what they are producing. They know the importance. I try that everyone understand the importance of these contact center agents, even though they are located, I can tell you, Manila, India, China, in Europe somewhere. So, we are not there to see them as a machine to accomplish a certain number of transactions per hour and certain sales per hour or a certain number of revenue. We do plan incentives. In our particular case, as I told you, one of the questions is what's different from the hospitality or the hotel sector to the telecom or bank. One of the incentives are what I call fam trips. They can enjoy and touch, they can travel all over the world and enjoy our products. Awesome. Since a long time, since I was living in Madrid, I worked with the union of the contact centers and try really to professionalize these teams. I always try to show within the companies I worked with how important are the contact centers, not for me. My career is done, it's for them. And I need to tell you, within COVID, we stopped all this because we couldn't travel, lockdowns. But till COVID, not only in Radisson, but in my previous life, from CEO to CX, whatever, their induction was to go to the contact center and listen calls, because it's so easy to complain that contact center is not doing the job in a correct way. So it's better they to go and listen to calls or manage by themselves. The guest queries, what do you think?
Yeah.
Then they can see with these monitors, calls on queue, whatever calls on queue, all the team leaders, please rush. Bring all the CEOs there and put them working one day at the contact center.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Alexandra, we are at the end of our time, but I have one more question before we wrap up today's session. The question is from an anonymous user. What are the key learnings and investments you are implementing as the new normal?
Investments, digital.
Like investment, like maybe it can be specific trainings, specific sort of.
No, training is always, trainings always. We spend an important percentage of the login hours, speaking on contact center terminology, of training. It can be initial when it comes, but we do a lot of qualities and auditings. As I told you, one of my favorite is quality. So if I do follow quality, and if I do not measure quality, then I have a problem. Doesn't match. So there's a lot of training hours dedicated in our agents because each individual has a different need, right? So I don't see it's like an investment, but okay. Training, where I'm thinking from a CapEx perspective is more on technology, digital is where I want to move and enlarge the scope. So far I'm on the email, now I want to move, and this is my plan to go and move to voice. And I'm so happy because it's something I know that it will help me a lot. And then really to incentivize.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to have happy agents and happy team. If they're happy, they will transmit that to the guests. Don't you think?
Yeah. If you are, they should be happy working with you, I guess, first of all. But I agree with you. Happy agents make happy customers, right? I couldn't agree with you more. Alexandra, again, thank you very much for your time today. I know it's getting very late.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. It was lovely to host you today. And I want to thank all of our audience members today. And as a reminder, don't forget we have another webinar next month, International Women's Day, March 8th. We have 3 speakers joining us. Since then, thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye.